Well, the time has come to go live on a bicycle live stream for the first time in, I think, probably at least 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So it's been very challenging. The last 5 weeks, very, very challenging, and I've not been in the frame of mind or emotions or in a state of peace enough to do a live stream. However, I'm back on Sunday 24th of October at 6:32 a.m, having ridden about 33 kilometres, and I want to share some wisdom with you. And this is, I've titled it, the third most important lesson I've learnt. Before I get going, let me just, okay, they're gonna go around that way. Okay, just focusing on traffic. All right. So, before I start, also I want to say a big shout out to the sponsors of Vegan Life for supplying wonderful Cindian sausages that I made into a salad yesterday for Seeds of Life. They're amazing, decadent cake that I took one slice of, and I should have taken about 10. And of course, veggie chips, which are always appreciated. So thanks, guys. We actually had a really good Vegan Life. A small group of us. We had a very good vegan luck in the park. Small group of us, but it was really, really peaceful at Cascade Gardens. It's beautiful on the river, had a beautiful breeze. It was one of the nicest afternoons in quite a while. So this morning's topic is the third most important lesson I've learnt. Next week I'll do the second, and depending on time I'll do the first. So when I was about 18, 19, I remember the first girl that I was really interested in. We'd hung out for a few months, and then she decided she didn't want to hang around anymore, and I was quite distraught. I was quite upset. And a very wise person said something to me, which I was since then, and this is many decades ago, I've been able to see the importance of this understanding. And what he said is that no one makes you happy or sad. No one has that power other than yourself. And this was a bit of a revelation at the time for me, because I was sort of fairly firmly in a mindset of appropriating my happiness and otherwise to external things, not realizing the power of the lesson that I was being told, that I've then seen repeated many times. Now, I'm going to give the lesson a name in a minute, but the other thing is that in relation to that, more recently, a few years ago, I was going out with a woman with a couple of kids who shall remain nameless to protect the guilty. I love saying that. And I noticed, because I pick up on this understanding that no one makes us happy or sad other than ourselves, and also apologies if the wind is getting a bit much, but because I picked up on it, I noticed she would say to her kids, very, very, in a way that is not even slightly helpful for their growth, she would say to them, "Oh, you make me so angry." And I actually did try enlightening her a little bit, but her opening up to spiritual awareness was very limited, and she just wasn't ready to receive the message. But a terrible thing on many different levels to tell an impressionable kid, to give them the idea that they are making someone angry, that they are responsible for their parent or someone else's feelings. And so I picked up on it. I noticed that this is a fairly common theme, that we don't take ownership. We don't have enough self-awareness to take ownership of our own feelings. And so this was brought home to me, or reminded to me again, in a beautiful spiritual teaching that I was listening to on YouTube, and I shared it, I think, yesterday morning. And it is that our emotions originate within ourselves. That's the third most important lesson I've learnt, that our emotions emerge within ourselves. It's that simple, it's that powerful, that nobody else is making us angry, nobody else is making us happy, nobody else is making us sad, nobody else drives our car unless we give them the key. Nobody else has the power to create the emotions that we are feeling. The emotions we are feeling are coming from the thoughts. The emotions and thoughts are one. They are connected. And what's this guy? And guy on an electric skateboard, not sure which side he wanted to go of me. Our thoughts are a product of subconscious patterns formed within the first 7 years, primarily formed within the first 7 years of our development. And our thoughts are a result of that environment that we were subject to, that we considered normal. What we grew up in was considered our normal. So, one of the discussions I was having yesterday with one of the people at the Vegan Luck was that, it's very, very sad that for 99.9% of us, our normal is to grow up in an environment where our caregivers think that it is normal to force us to consume animal products. It's very, very sad. And it's it's a product of the environment that we grow up in, that is considered normal. And I've often compared it to child abuse. I've often said it's akin to child abuse to be forcing a child to do something that they know in their heart is wrong, that goes against our natural born compassion. But it's also on a more on a less angry level. I can compare it to just the parents being so indoctrinated that they think that animal products are necessary. And this is the society we live in. So, when I began to understand that our emotions originate from ourselves, that nobody else is responsible for my happiness, my sadness, my anger, my any other emotion. They're the basic three, but nobody else is responsible except me. My emotion is a product of how I'm thinking, how I'm responding to the events occurring in my life, and the way that I'm responding to them, thinking about them, then produces this emotional response, which can come out as what we consider a positive or a negative response. And depending on our degree of self-awareness, will determine our growth in this area. Depending on our karmic situation, will determine the lessons that are directed towards us, and how we can then be given these opportunities with each of these lessons to move forward or to repeat the pattern until the time that we are able to move forward with that lesson, and then the next lesson comes along. So this is the third, not only is this the third most important lesson I've learnt, but it is also the third most powerful, and it's tied into the second and the first, which I'll discuss next weekend. We've got to watch that glass. Luckily, I have puncture-proof tyres, and that's not the lesson. Just distracted there by glass on the road. So when I am in a state of distress, when I'm in a state of anger, it's me. It's my emotions coming from my thoughts. You didn't make me angry. I responded with anger because I wasn't in balance and I wasn't self-aware enough to, I guess I wasn't self-aware enough to meditate on my thoughts and realize what I was experiencing as an emotion. So we have a wonderful opportunity to look at how we're responding to repeated patterns and lessons in our life. Are we responding in a state of acceptance? Are we responding in a state of resistance, i.e. anger, depression, etc.? And be aware that it is okay to not feel okay. That is all right. We are sometimes overwhelmed, and that's certainly an experience when my father left his body approximately 5 weeks ago. Certainly an experience that I had, feeling overwhelmed, and we need to take the time to, I'm just shaking my head around so these little birdies don't attack. We need to take the time sometimes to be able to recenter and refocus ourselves. So take this power that we have of knowing that if we are in control of our mind and emotions, if you are in control of your mind and your emotions, that you are so far ahead of the majority of people in the world. You have a secret power, and that secret power, this gives you a secret advantage, I guess you could say. And you can center yourself through meditation, focus on remaining calm and being the silent witness, the observer of how people are acting around you and how you are reacting, or more correctly, responding to them. So with those thoughts in mind and that lesson, I hope you've got something out of it, something to ponder on, and then stay tuned next weekend and I'll bring you the second and first most important lessons I've ever learned. Till then, live vegan and save lives, and thank you for listening, and share with your friends. Ahimsa.